Hello, everyone. Welcome. Good morning, good morning. Happy Sunday. Oh, lovely to see some faces there. How is everyone this morning? You are hopefully in the right place. We are a Thermomix branch, but we have two teams presenting for you today. So Team Bloom, which is over west, and Courtney Miles is the team leader. She's there. And Team Sapphire from the South Coast and Snowy Monero region. And I am the team leader. My name is Lyndall Brown, and I am from Team Sapphire down here on the far South Coast. So welcome to our class this morning for some breakfast inspiration. It might be a little bit late for breakfast for some of you for today, but maybe some inspiration for during the week or next weekend even. But thank you for registering and coming along to spend some time with us this morning. We have lots and lots to show and lots to share for you. So if you'd like to find the chat box, and you can write in there where you're from, say hi. We'd love to say hi. Any questions, pop them in there, or feel free to jump off mute if you need to ask a question. Hi from Leeton. There we go. That's Diana's from Leeton as well. Perfect. Yeah, if you can pop that in there, and we will get started. We're starting this morning with some cinnamon buns from Laurette. So just bear with me while I find Laurette and spotlight her. Lots of people from Leeton this morning. All righty. I'm going to hide myself. Good morning, Laurette.
Good morning, Lyndall. Good morning, everyone. How are we? Good. Thank you for taking the time to join us this morning. I think I'm looking at the wrong side of my camera. Oh, hello, Alison. Good to see you pop up there. I started early this morning and I've made some dough for our cinnamon buns, and it's wrapped up in my thermomat and sitting on the warm side of my kitchen. This dough is sticky because it's got butter in it. It's a sweet dough, and we're going to make some traditional, probably a bit American cinnamon rolls, scrolls even, but you can make them any shape that you like. This dough is it's a little bit more time consuming than our regular quick pizza doughs and easy bread doughs. So that's why we've made it earlier today, and I'm going to show you the steps for making the filling, making the icing, and then assembling and baking the scrolls. So I'll pop that back over here, and we're up to the step on my Thermomix where we make the filling, so the brown sugar and cinnamon filling. This Thermomix is sitting on a glide board, which is one of our host rewards at the moment. So we can pick it up and shift it a little bit easier than we used to be able to safely. And I've also got a video of the Thermomix kneading this morning on that slide to show you later. So once I'm finished presenting, I'll pop that video in the chat if I can for you all. Okay, so I have placed my prepared dough to the side and left it in a warm place to double, which is going to take approximately 45 minutes. It will be ready once I've finished making the filling and the icing here. Okay, so we're doing 250 grams of brown sugar, 2 tablespoons of ground cinnamon. It feels like a lot, but trust me, it's delicious. The next 2 ingredients are optional, and I've chosen to leave them out because I personally just preferred the cinnamon flavour. It's ground cardamom and ground cloves, but we're not using them today. Then 150 grams of unsalted butter, chopped up and softened. And that's the 3 ingredients that go into the filling. It's really, really easy. So insert a measuring cup into the lid. Then we're going to do 40 seconds on speed 4.
Has anyone made cinnamon buns or cinnamon scrolls before? Pop it in the chat if you have.
I I often do them, but I can get a bit slack and I just make the pizza dough and do all the cinnamon part of it.
Do you do an icing on it as well, Diana?
I do, always.
Of course. That's a nice handy tip, guys. If you don't have enough time, you can pizza dough.
Okay, so did I hear Diana say over my Thermomix that she uses pizza dough for this recipe?
You did hear that, yes.
I never thought to do that. So that's our filling. It's very simple. Butter, brown sugar, and cinnamon. All right, so we're going to pop that to the side. Next, we're going to make our icing. So it says clean and dry the mixing bowl, but if you're lucky like me, just grab a clean one. Okay, so the first first ingredient in the icing is 120 caster sugar. I've managed to leave a hair on that. Let's get rid of that. Okay, clean lid because we want it to be dry because we're about to mill this sugar. Okay, so I apologise for the noise. We're doing 10 seconds on speed 10.
Best thing about Zoom is it cuts out the noise, so we can't hear Laurette's Thermomix while it's making a racket in her kitchen.
Alrighty. Do we all remember the very first time we saw a demo and made icing sugar?
Look at it.
I apologise to anyone who hasn't had the pleasure of doing an in-person demo or making icing sugar yet, because that's just, it still makes me so happy, and I've been doing this for about 8 years. Okay. Put it back, Laurette, stop talking. Okay, 60 grams of butter.
We love hearing you talk to it. And keep going.
Oh, thanks. I'm glad you do. My children don't. 60 grams of cream cheese. And half a teaspoon of vanilla. But you just measure that with your heart, I think. Probably did a teaspoon. I really like vanilla. And 20 grams of milk. All right. Lemon juice is optional. I'm not adding it because I like my icing to be a little bit thicker, but you can still make it thicker without the lemon juice. I'm also lazy and don't have a lemon ready. Okay, measuring cup back on in the lid, 30 seconds at speed 4.
So I've just, for everyone who's just joined, we're making cinnamon buns with Laurette, and I've just linked the recipe from Cookie Doo into the chat, as well as all of the Thermomix items that she's using, the accessories that she's using today. But don't buy your glider board. You can book a demo in the next week and you could earn one as a host reward. But all of those things are in the chat, so keep an eye out for those.
I have to say that the glider board is something that I didn't know that I needed. I've always been very, Thermomix is fine on the bench, but I found my favourite part of it is that it lifts it up a little bit higher. I'm not a tall person, but I still find the Thermomix working at a much better level on the glider board. And it's really easy to be able to clean around it too without having to lift it and move it. It's easier to sort of get into the corner of your benches to wipe them down. All right, so I have got a big chunk of butter in there, so I'm just going to give that another, it got stuck to the side of the bowl and didn't fall down, so I'm just going to give that another quick mix. Sorry guys.
Girls, have you got a glider board on hand, or do you want me to grab mine so that our beautiful guests can see?
I can take mine out from under my Thermomix, actually.
Okay, so the instruction is just to set the icing aside as well. So you can see it's nice and smooth now, ready to go when the buns come out of the oven. So if you want to refrigerate that in the meantime, if you're not making your buns straight away, or you're not going to be icing them within the next few hours, pop it in the fridge and just give it a mix to soften the butter back up when you're ready to use it. All right, so we might just see if I can tilt my camera down a bit.
I've just popped that up. That's the glider board there, guys. Don't know if you can see that. I've got the white one. We've got the flip on the bottom there, as well as the sliding part on the back here.
So we can see that my dough has got bigger. It is sticky, as I mentioned earlier. Turn it around so it's like the right way. All right, so the general consensus normally is to put your dough onto a well-floured silicone bread mat or work surface. I actually hate getting flour everywhere, so I just put a little bit of olive oil on my hands and find that works just as easy. It doesn't have any flavour and it stops everything from sticking, and you don't have to clean up the flour from everywhere later. So just pick all that up into a bowl, into a... Now it would have been good, guys, if I'd thought ahead and had a rolling pin out of the drawer before my hands got dirty.
Would that be the French style rolling pin, Laurette?
I believe it might be, Lyndall, yes. So maybe I can do this without a rolling pin today. Don't get oil and dough all over my kitchen drawers. So the dough is really soft and pliable. It feels lovely. It's not sticking to my hands anymore with the olive oil on them. I'm running out of space here because I've got a flat cooktop that's got a big chopping board over it, but it's a little bit smaller than my mat, so I'm going to have to go this way. So we can make that as big as the Thermomat is quite easily. Not hardly any effort and no mess. All right. Okay, so it says 50 by 40 centimetres, which is pretty well exactly what this baking mat is. Oh, it's actually I've got 56 centimetres by 40, but that's okay. That'll be an extra bun. Okay, next. Dot the dough with the reserved filling and evenly spread it over the surface. All right. So here's my filling. I'm going to apologise if anyone can hear the dogs next door barking.
Will I just chime in here, girls, and just start the start of my crumpets with the yeast, because I have to leave that for 5 minutes.
I think that's a great idea.
Perfect.
All right, so while Laurette's...
Spotlight you. Hang on. I'm going to add a spotlight. So can everyone see both Laurette and Diana at the moment? Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Morning, everyone. So this morning for our little breakfast segment, I'm going to do some wholemeal crumpets. I do love this recipe because I am an all-in and on see you later kind of girl. So I've got everything here ready to go. And as I said, this will cook for 5 minutes. So we're just going to chuck it all in. Again, following along from cookie dough. So I've got 120 grams of baker's flour. Should have pre-measured, but didn't. Some raw sugar. So it's slightly different to how you would normally start a dough with flour in the bottom rather than just water and yeast. and a little bit of sugar to help. So next, so a teaspoon of sugar and a teaspoon of dried yeast. And then I've got 300 grams of buttermilk. Now, I don't know if anyone is like me and doesn't buy buttermilk. Generally, you'll buy a carton and then you'll use a little bit and waste part of it or most of it. So I pre-measured 300 grams or just shy of milk and then topped it up with some white vinegar. So I'll just tip that so you can see. It's kind of, you can see that curdled type look. That's homemade buttermilk. So straight in, a little bit more, but it is what it is. I'll add some more flour later. And then we just mix that on speed 2 for 5 minutes on 37 degrees. And back to you, Laurette.
Thank you. I'm on my way. Let's you go and find a butter knife to help me spread this out a bit. Those lovely new flexible silicone spatulas that we have are a little bit soft for this job. So this doesn't have to be perfect. It's all going to cook in together, but you just want to spread out the big dots a little bit. And share the cinnamon love around.
I'm wishing that's what I was making this morning, Laurette.
Lyndall, there's a method in my madness. I definitely volunteered to make something that I would like to be able to eat today. But we're going to balance it out with a green smoothie. I think that they just works out to be probably.
It's all about balance, isn't it?
Balance. If I make a green smoothie that's full of spinach and ginger, I'm pretty sure I'm allowed to eat 12 cinnamon rolls, right?
Or you can give the kids the smoothie and you can eat the rolls.
Yeah, no, the kids will be happy with these for afternoon tea, or Xander doesn't finish work until 8 o'clock tonight, so he can have some for dessert. And I'm also going to take a couple out to my lovely customer who I'm doing a one-on-one delivery with this afternoon.
Just a bit of extra service, Laurette. I love that.
All right, that looks like close enough is good enough to me.
Say good enough for the bush?
Yep. Okie dokie.
Quite a thick mix, isn't it, Laurette?
It is a thick mix, so it's probably, and it's starting, that dough is starting to prove again as we're sitting here, or standing here. I can see air bubbles popping up around the edges, so it's really good that the dough's working. My kitchen's quite warm this morning with the sun out today, which is nice. Okay, so roll into a log shape starting from the shortest edge. So the shortest edge is obviously this one. So we're going to roll it on up. Like that, which means we'll get lots more extra turns in our extra rolls in our mix. It'll be very they'll be very big by the time. If you wanted more rolls that were smaller, you could roll your dough from the long edge. You don't have to direction if that's not what suits you.
Smaller ones would be good. They'd be less messy to eat.
Yeah, that's right. And, good for kids. Make the mix go a bit further. Alrighty. So,
what are you going to cut them with?
Well, I'd like to say that I had a green Thermomix dough cutter handy, but along with my blade peeler, it's something that's gone missing since I moved house 2 months ago, and I haven't recovered. So I'm going to cut it with my spatula.
So anyone that's wondering about Laurette's dough scraper, should I say, it's this one.
Oh
The
yeah,
handiest little bit of piece of plastic you'll ever get.
one of those. They work really well. So I've just got one of my baking trays and a mat on it. I'm going to use 2 of these in total. I want to make about 12 rolls. So we'll just chop through the middle of one to try and get them even. We'll do it so this one goes in 6. So we need to get 3 out of each of these. So just, I like to mark them out to give myself a bit of a guide and keep myself on track. The end one's always a bit, it's like the first pikelet, I reckon. Just never quite right.
So I'm going to chime in again while Laurette is cutting. And I need to put my 250 grams of wholemeal flour in to my crumpet mix. And I must say, as much as I said before, I should have pre-weighed. How easy are our scales when you can just pour in and it weighs as it goes? Okay. And some lukewarm water. And then once I put this in, my egg, salt, and then that mixes for 5 seconds. So again, like I said, quite a fast first part to the recipe anyway. I've just run hot water in my sink just to get that lukewarm water. So one egg right under my coffee cup. Who's made crumpets before? Pop it in the chat box if you have, and let me know how you cook them, because I've got a little hack today.
Oh, am I allowed to say that I cook mine in a pint?
That's how I'm doing them, Laurette.
Ah.
There is no better way.
Has anyone got a hack for glad wrap?
If you buy the industrial one, it has like a really great cutting implement on it.
Didn't catch a word you said. If you're talking to me, Lyndall.
I was talking to Laurette. Did you hear me, Laurette?
I did. Thank you. I've managed to fashion a bit of glad wrap sort of here. It's got some tails on the edges, but I'm just going to sit that glad wrap because it's winter. I'm just going to sit that over the top and pop those back over into the sun to prove. They will get quite a bit bigger.
They look amazing.
They do look amazing, and I'm very hungry.
So that's me so far mixing after just 5 seconds with that flour into the rest of the mix. Scraping my sides down. That's going to just heat through slowly for 3 minutes on 37 degrees. So keeping it at room temperature for 3 minutes, and then just checking my preview. I've got to allow the mixture to prove for an hour. Please don't panic, guests. I'm not going to make you wait for my crumpets for an hour. I do have one that I've prepared earlier. So that's it for me for now. On to, we've got Courtney, maybe? Sally?
We have Courtney. So bear with me while I add a spotlight here.
I was getting too comfortable here just watching.
Good morning, Courtney.
Hello.
What are you cooking today?
I'm going to make espresso baked beans and a chia pudding. So I'm going to start with the baked beans. Has anybody ever done baked beans in your Thermomix before? My husband loves baked beans, but, you know, in the can, and I'm, you know, a proud food snob sometimes, and I'm just like, No, we can make those so much better. So I've got onion, carrot, and a chili here, which I've left a few seeds. Whoops, don't throw it out. A few seeds on for a bit of spice. So I'll tuck all that in. Onion, carrot. It says a jalapeno chili, but I've just used a red one. And we're going to chop that up. 3 seconds.
Who's a chili lover? Anyone really enjoy a bit of spice? Pop that in the chat if you do. I know I do.
It's something that I've like, I don't know, you can be really scared of chili sometimes, but just go with it. And if you don't like how much chili's there, the next time leave it out or whatever. Here you go. This is, I reckon, my favourite thing that the Thermomix does. Like just chopping all that up, really. So good. So it says butter, but I'm keeping it dairy free, and I'm just going to use olive oil. And then it says some bacon, but I don't like bacon, so I'm going to leave that out. Controversial, I know. So I'm just skipping that step. So we're just having to saute the onion, carrot, and chili for 5 minutes. Do we have anyone else to cross back to, or should I? Where's Diana up to?
Did you want to go on with your chia?
Yeah.
Or do we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Sorry, I threw you in the deep end there.
No, you're right. I just can feel its sneeze. Okay. So I've got my chia pudding in my other Thermomix. I do love having two. So we're just, has anyone made a chia pudding? I can't see the chat, Linda, so you'll have to tell me if anyone's saying anything.
I can, yeah.
Some coconut milk in here.
Yes, Sally's made chia pudding before. And just a reminder, guys, I'm just putting all of the recipes with the link to Cookie Do in the chat there.
A disclaimer, I've never made this particular chia pudding recipe. My favourite one to make is the orange and mango chia pudding, and it's got like a macadamia crumble on it. It's so good. So that's just in coconut milk, and now I'm just putting in my chia seeds. I'm just going to make sure that they're not all over my blades.
You take more care than I do, Courtney Miles. I just whack it in.
Oh gosh, I wanted to organise stuff, but I was. I didn't peel this earlier because you know it was going to go awful black. So 90 grams of banana.
Are you being specific with your 90 grams? Because I would just chuck the whole thing in. Is that going to wreck it?
Oh, well, I'm just making sure that this is like close to 90 grams. 121, so I'm just leaving that in. But, you know, if it was less, then I'd give it more. So, lid on, and that's going to blend for 15 seconds.
You could definitely swap out the milk, Alison, for sure. I think anything, yeah, almond, coconut milk should work. Everyone can correct me if they're wrong, if I'm wrong, but I do believe you can change the milk for chia pudding.
I'm just going to go into the recipe detail. I think in the tips it says, oh no, might be something else I read about changing, using any type of milk. But it says to use regular tin coconut milk or light coconut milk if you find it too rich.
So it would just be a little bit runnier, I would guess, if you were using a different type of milk. Do you think, Cor?
Maybe, yeah.
You could then just add a little bit more chia just to keep that texture.
We're full of good tips.
It's always one of those things that, you know, you just try, and if it doesn't work, then you try something else next time when you're tweaking recipes. Just make sure I pick up the right spatula. Keep that one with the chili on it over there, not put that in here. So I've just scraped that down and then it gives it another blend. Scraping down the sides again. Okay, so now it's just asking me to put 2 tablespoons of my mixture into my jars. So I've got 4 jars here. Spilling it everywhere. Then I'm going to add some raspberries in. So that's why it's getting a bit out, because it's like a layered chia pudding.
Fresh or frozen raspberries, Court?
I've used fresh. They were ridiculously expensive, but I do like fresh.
So do you think that we could maybe replace with frozen if that was when you're trying to save some money?
Yeah, for sure. Do whatever you can to save $1 at the moment, isn't it? It's crazy.
Really is.
So I've just made a fresh batch of stock paste this morning. Oh, I'm back to the baked beans.
I was just gonna clarify that.
Not putting stock paste in my chia pudding.
Extra greens for the kids, right?
Yeah. Putting 100 grams of water into the baked beans. And 100 grams of brewed espresso coffee. So I have got a big shot of coffee from my coffee machine, but I'm sure you could use instant if you wanted to.
This is what intrigues me about this recipe, is putting coffee in the beans.
Oh, it's so good. Like, I don't like baked beans, but these are amazing. Oops, I picked up the wrong thing. 30 grams of brown sugar. 40 grams of molasses. Now, I didn't pre-weigh that because it will just stick to whatever. Okay. I've got a child that's just come out wanting me to do something for him, and now he's just cracked it because I said, wait.
We like to keep it real here.
Yeah. I did warn him beforehand. If you need me, you have to wait till I'm not talking to anybody. Did you just take a photo of me?
You asked me to take photos of Courtney Miles?
I did, but I didn't mean to, I'm behind. That was tomato paste. Just wait 1 minute, please, Phil. Some apple cider vinegar. And some salt and pepper. Stuff there. Pepper done. And that is going to cook now for 10 minutes. Back to my chia puddings. Just place a bowl in a mixing bowl lid and lay raspberries into it, which I've already done. And we're just going to add 20 grams of the raspberries. Doesn't bring the scales up, so I just did that manually. That's 22 grams. You just have to wait. Now that's just blending up those strawberries. Strawberries. I'm not talking about raspberries. Cooper's distracting me. There we go. We're getting pinker. So now, same thing again. I'm just going to put 2 more tablespoons on top of that mixture that I've already done.
Court, we've got a question about the baked beans. Someone who doesn't like coffee, can you taste the coffee in the beans, or would it be safe to use?
No, I don't think you can really taste it.
Do the kids eat it?
No, my kids won't eat it, but that's too fussy. I have like nearly run out of mixture, and I've been very careful with my 2 tablespoons here. So now I'm going to add the remaining raspberries. I'm going to leave some to put on top though. Leave that for 10 seconds. Look at me, I'm really making a mess here. So in the picture, you've got like your white layer, a light pink layer, and a dark pink layer when it's done. But my jars are probably a bit too wide to do that. So now
There's the colour.
oh my God, Cooper, seriously. Just wait. Oh my God. I just threw the iPad in before and now something's okay. So divide evenly. You know what, I'm going to just pour.
So in that time, Courtney, has that chia pudding set a bit on the bottom? So now it's creating another layer.
Well, ideally, yes, but it seems to just be kind of blending a little bit.
I have made this one before, and I do think it depends on the jars that you use. Smaller possibly would work better, but then I think you could also add sort of more raspberries in the middle mix and then extra ones again, I think, if you really want that defined colour.
So the yeah, if you looked at the promotion image that we used for this class, it was a picture of this chia pudding on the front. So that's what they should have looked like. These are the jars I used for the orange and mango one. Because it doesn't have any layers, but then you layer it up with fresh mango and coconut yogurt and stuff like that. So I'm going to go and put these in the fridge and I'll bring them back out a little bit later.
How long have you got on your beans there?
5 minutes.
Okay, so how about we cross to Diana, are you doing your crumpets there? Do I need to show how you do that? Oh, you're on mute.
Yes, but I'm just doing the first batch of ugly ones. So go to Sally.
I'll go to Sally, yeah.
I might jump in and do the smoothie.
Yeah, sure, Laurette, go for it.
Sorry, just so that I can pop off to my other commitment today.
Go for it.
All right, so I've got everything ready. Yeah, all our ingredients. This is a chuck it all in and blend in recipe, so I promise I will take 1 minute of your time to show you this. All right, so we're doing half a cucumber, which is approximately 75 grams, cut into pieces. 30 grams of spinach leaves. Just got baby spinach, cheaper than lettuce. Parsley, 1 to 2 sprigs. 1 to 2 sprigs of fresh mint. Half a lemon. So I left a seed in there. That's a bit naughty. Half a lemon, flesh only, no white, and the seeds removed. Half centimetre piece of ginger, peeled. Half an orange. Yeah, I've used a whole orange because it was a very small one. Half a green apple. Oh, I didn't read that. I cut up the whole green apple. So we'll just put in half of that. 50 grams of ice cubes.
Now, before you start blending, Laurette, how can our customers see this dish? Is there, did you see this dish the other night, maybe, in a demo from?
Oh, at our training, maybe.
Yes. Mode demo.
We are starting a new.
I was fishing, but
Monday morning, Lyndall, you have to tell me these things in advance. Yes, new modes demo that showcases breakfast recipes is coming, and this recipe is one of the ones that you can choose, and it's really, really simple.
Sorry, I put you off track there.
Yeah, I know. And this is my first practice of it, so I've never made this before. I thought today's a good day, so
perfect.
We'll see how it goes. All right, 50 grams of water or coconut water. I don't hate anything more than I hate coconut water, so 50 grams of normal water. Give me coconut milk and cream, that's fine, but water, it's unnecessary.
Is it acquired taste?
Oh, it tastes like slime. Okay, but that's my personal opinion. All right, insert the measuring cup into the lid on the Thermomix. The guided cooking automatically takes you to blend mode. If you're using a TM31 or 5, you would be going at speed 10 for 1 minute. Very simple.
Perfect.
Sorry for the noise.
So now while Laurette's doing that, I'm going to cross back over to Sal, but I'm going to keep the spotlight on Laurette as well, and she can show her smoothie once it's done. So Sally, welcome. What are we doing this morning?
We are making the cacao banana porridge. Hello, everyone. So we'll get right in. So this is from the Whole Food Child. Pop a note in the chat if you've made porridge before, because it really is the best breakfast ever you can do, to put it on in the morning and go and have your shower and come back and it's done. This is a little bit extra steps, but it's totally worth it, especially if you love chocolate. So I'd love to know if you do like making porridge. Okay, so there's going to be a couple of extra ingredients in this porridge. It makes it full of goodness. So I've got 2 tablespoons of pepitas. I'm just going to pop those in.
So Laurette, while Sally's doing that, if you want to pour it out into a glass and show us, then that would be cool.
And I have 2 tablespoons of linseeds, or they're also known as flax seeds.
It actually smells really good, hey? Very green.
I was impressed the other night, actually, I have to say.
I'm just going to mill these down. Speed 8.
All right, so this smoothie actually serves 2. Just put it into 1 jar. Should I taste it live on camera?
Yes, taste test.
Do it.
Your face.
It's far too green for me.
That's so good.
Laurette, because
Laurette's the healthy one.
Laurette, did you put all the apple in and the orange, or did you just do the half?
No, I only did half. I did a small orange and half an apple.
Yeah, the other night when I did, I threw it all in. I'm like, oh, okay, this will balance out the green, give it a bit sweeter. So, like, what are you going to do with the other? You're not going to eat it. Just chuck it all in too.
I am. I'll just eat it now.
All right, Sal, what have you got there?
There we go. So I've just milled down the flax seeds and the pepitas and pop those into a bowl. That goes into the porridge mix as it cooks. And now I have my oats. The water. Some porridges use all milk, but this one is mainly water. And then we add in some milk as well. And the banana. Popping that in. It does have a weight, but hey, I'm just using the whole banana. And I'll pop the lid back on. And that's now going to cook for 5 minutes, 90 degrees, and it's on reverse, just in case anyone needs to cook manually, and it's speed 2. So while that's cooking, and then there's a couple more stages when we add the milk and the cacao. You can use cocoa. Don't feel you have to go out and buy cacao. It's just the difference in how they're processed. So both will work well. I actually prefer, though, Dutch cocoa because it's better and not as bitter for cooking in these sorts of dishes. So I've got 5 minutes cooking on this, Lyndall. Do you want to pass it to whoever's next?
Yeah. So either Court or Diana, who's ready to go or who wants to go? Court, what's the...
I've got my next step ready.
Okay, let's go with Court and then we'll come to you, Diana.
So that, don't pour it out. That sauce base is just done there, but all I've got to add now is 2 cans of cannellini beans that I've rinsed and drained. And then I think it just cooks for another couple of minutes. Yep, 2 minutes. And then I'll be done.
Perfect. So let's quickly cross to Diana. All right.
I just want to jump in and say, with Sally's porridge, how good is that with blending the linseeds and that? So anyone that buys like LSA mix, I don't know how much that is. Presumably quite expensive, especially when you think about that aisle at Woolworths, when you think of like almond meal and things like that. So you can make your own. If you haven't thought of that before and you buy it, now is a good time to be saving money because we can't afford to do anything else. So make your own. Really easy.
Yeah, there's an LSA recipe on Cookie Dough somewhere. I'm sure there is. And then the beauty is that when you do mill seeds like linseeds from scratch, they're not going to go rancid at all. So it is better to do it from seed as well, fresh on the spot, and cheaper to get it in bulk anyway.
Absolutely. Same as almond meal, things like that.
Yeah,
that's it.
Alrighty. So Diana, are you just using is that a Kmart pie maker?
It's a Kmart pie maker.
You can put that on on Facebook too.
So my crumpets are annoying me a little bit this morning. I don't know if I've left it to proof for too long because I'm not getting those lovely bubbles on my surface. And of all days, I don't want it to fail me for today. So I'm going to use my mix that I've just done just to see if it will prove me wrong that I have overproved it, because I don't always have the best luck with proving dough because I kind of forget about it. So I'm just trying to do like about halfway in my pie maker, and I sort of let it sit for a little bit before I close the lid, just to allow those bubbles to come to the surface. Let's get rid of that. And then I close it up because I don't like to flip my crumpets. So I have done it in a pan previously, and it asks you to let the surface dry out and then to remove the egg ring and then flip it. And then it was kind of cooking too much on the top for me, because when we get a packet of crumpets, they're beautiful and lovely and bubbly on the top, not browned. So I was trying to work out how I could make it work, and this was the way I got it going. The only other thing that I've just thought of that might be failing me with my flour is that I might be using old wholemeal flour. So I feel like that might be why I'm not getting my bubbles. However, I have a couple here, and I just want to show you the inside. You can see that is proper crumpets.
Nice.
So as long as you're getting these lovely bubbles on the top, that honey, golden syrup, maple syrup, butter, Nutella, peanut butter, Vegemite. I don't know what everybody else puts on crumpets, but that's our list.
My dad puts tomato sauce.
What? Devon and tomato sauce?
No, just butter and my dad.
Oh, butter
and tomato sauce, yeah.
Oh, that's new.
Yeah, It is actually good though. I have tried it, so.
Okay.
Okay.
And then because obviously the pie maker is substantially smaller than an egg ring, not substantially, but a little bit smaller than an egg ring, they're obviously smaller crumpets. So the allowance is if you normally have 2 golden crumpets, you can have 4 of these because they're smaller. And once you've made the whole batch, pop them in a container and put them in the freezer. As long as you've got a completely sealed container, you can get them out as you please, pop them straight in your toaster and toast them. They're good to go.
Beautiful. Thank you, Diana. Okay, we're going to go back to Sal. And Sal, you're on mute just to, yep, perfect. There we go.
Okay, so this smells beautifully banana-y at the moment. And now's the good part when I'm going to pop in the cacao, chocolate. I do love chocolate. Does anyone else? Because anything with I can find that brings in some chocolate to breakfast, lunch, or dinner is my kind of thing. And then I'm adding in 100 grams of milk. Again, you can switch this. You can use whatever type of milk you want. You could even just use water still too. I've done plenty of porridges with just water as well. So I'll just pop in the milk.
We have lots of porridge lovers in the chat too, Sal.
It's such a good one, and we forget how easy, because we're not standing by that stovetop stirring it at all. It's so easy in the Thermomix. So this is 3 minutes, Lyndall, to cook the porridge and the milk through.
So Court, your beans will be ready. But I did have another tip about porridge. If you have leftover porridge, you can actually turn it into muffins, which I found out this week from one of our other team leaders in our branch. But a tip for you guys, you can just Google muffins of the life and you should find a recipe.
Yep, so I'm done.
Good, beautiful.
They smell amazing. So you could put that on your crumpets, your toast, avocado, a poached egg, Lyndall.
Yes, a poached egg. I'll do that now. But the other thing I love my baked beans on is an English muffin. But there's an English muffin loaf that is on Cookie Dough, and I believe it's an English recipe, but it proves in the top in the Varoma, and that is the best, and it is so good with baked beans. Alrighty, so just as we were talking about our modes demo, our new modes demo, so it is an entire demo that is focused on the modes of the TM6. So you might have had your TM6 for, say 6 months or something, and you're not using those modes, you're just using Cookie Dough. All of these recipes are on Cookie Dough, but it's just going to highlight the mode that we're using. So today, the mode that I'm using is kettle mode, but I am going to be cooking poached eggs. Who has had some luck with their poached eggs and who hasn't? Pop that in the chat while I adjust my camera there to give all the stuff that I've got behind me and start cooking. So line a thermal serving bowl or plate with paper towel and set aside. Crack each egg into a separate bowl, which I have done here. Then we're going to insert the blade cover. We do have a video to insert the blade cover. Yep, hit and miss with eggs. That's a pretty common thing to hear. So I'm going to put my blade cover peeler, which is also available on the Mix Shop. And if you ask your consultant, there might be something special coming with the blade cover peeler, specifically with the Modes demo. All right, so if you've done cooking experiences, sorry, you can't see my face. If you've done cooking experiences before, this is a whole new menu, super exciting to get your guests along to. There's my blade cover peeler in there. Who has a blade cover peeler? Anyone? Put that in the chat. Now, 1,700 grams of water. I have, just for the sake of time, boiled my kettle, but I can guarantee it won't be quite 100 degrees yet. So I'll start pouring the water in. And 1,700, it seems like a lot. And we are almost to the fill line, but go with me. All right, and then 50 grams of white vinegar. we go. And next, it's going to put the lid on. And we're going to use kettle mode. And so what will happen is, because I've put some hot water in there, the kettle mode will take it to 100 degrees. It's saying it's on 70 at the moment. So it will stop once we get to the 100 degrees, which is great. So if you're not using kettle mode in your Thermomix, I suggest doing that, because it is great, especially if you're drinking things like green tea, which I think should be about 80 degrees. It shouldn't be 100 degrees because it burns it. Use that. Use your Thermomix. You can literally fill your cup of water, pop it in. I know that Diana uses kettle mode for something else.
Hot chocolate.
There we go.
Hot chocolate. So I just fill the mugs with milk first and then spoon in as much into the bowl as what I would into the cups, and we wind it back to 75 because it's perfect for the kids.
Yeah, great. And then you can blend it up afterwards if you want it a little bit frothy too, right?
Yeah.
That's always great if you cook something with some chocolate, with some melted chocolate, and instead of cleaning the bowl, whack some milk in there just to cover the blade, and you've got yourself a hot chocolate. Or if you've made caramel slice and you have caramel in your bowl, you can make yourself a hot caramel as well. Now, while it's on 85 now, while that's heating up, Sal, do you have the porridge ready to go there, or am I crossing to someone else? Has anyone else got anything they'd like to?
I have one more small step. So I can, again, chocolate banana here. So now all I'm going to do is add in now the extra reserved seedy bits. And another 100 grams of milk goes in. And now I'm going to add the honey. You can also drizzle some over the top. I've tried it without the honey, but I find it's much nicer with a sweetener. Again, you can switch the sweetener if you like, pop in some maple syrup or something else, but definitely does need a little bit of sweetener. And there's now the very last small step, which is just a minute. And then, Lyndall, whenever it fits in with everyone else, no rush at all, I'll just plate it up and drizzle over the extra bits like the yogurt at the very end.
So my water now, I'm just going to show you, is at 100 degrees. Now, it needs to be at 100 degrees for these eggs to work. So next, I'm going to remove my measuring cup, press next again, and we're going to turn the speed selector to 0.5, and then I'm going to add the eggs in one at a time through the mixing bowl lid. So straight in. I believe the trick is not to do it gently, but just to go for it. So the blade cover is there to cover the blades. So the blades aren't going to blitz up my eggs, right? But it's still moving the water around the bowl. So that's going to create that nice, hopefully, beautiful poached egg. But that only takes 2.5 minutes. So I've got 2 eggs in there. I've just used my little bamboo bowls to crack my eggs into and then put them in. But we've got 2 minutes for that, and then I can show you my perfect eggs. We need a slotted spoon to take them out, but I do believe that you can use any spoon, and that works. You just have to drain it a little bit with some paper towel. But who else have we got? Has anyone else got something happening? Laurette, yes, Laurette, perfect.
Hello, I'm back.
Well done. Laurette
So-
took it done to work in the middle of all that. So yeah, real, very real.
Run Xander to his job at McDonald's. However, can't
With a
buy
green
their cinnamon. Yeah, with them. And I tipped the rest. I drank half of this and then tipped the rest of what was left in the bowl in and added some ice cubes to cool it back down. It is very delicious, but it certainly will serve 2. That's a lot of green for one person. Okay. So my buns have proved a bit, and they're all touching each other now. So I'm going to put them in the oven and allow them to keep proving while the oven heats. So we're going up to 180 degrees, 180 degrees for about 25 minutes once it gets to temperature. I don't think we'll still be on camera then, but I'll make sure I send some photos of the finished products around to the other consultants to share with everyone who was on the class today. Thank you.
Amazing. Alrighty, and then who else are we going to chat to? Thank you, Laurette. That was amazing, and I am incredibly jealous of your buns. I'll have 2 poached eggs, which is a very healthy option.
Renee, what are you asking? Refrigerate the actual smoothie?
Yeah. Can if you've made too much of that smoothie, will it just refrigerate well?
I think it probably will.
You might have to just whisk it back up a little bit.
You might just have to. It would probably separate. I think the heavy, because it's they say that you should chew your food, your smoothies, for them to be healthy. This one is it does have a bit of texture in it. Not as much as something that's got chia or oats or protein powder blended in, but it does have a bit of texture. If I was going to make it in bulk and freeze it or put it in the fridge, I'd probably just put it maybe in the freezer in an ice cube tray, and then you could just blend it back up with a bit more water to loosen it up to make a fresh smoothie from it. I don't think it would be as nice the next day. It definitely needs got a fresh sort of tangy feel to it.
My tip too is to always, if you have leftover juice, especially green juice, is you could keep it in a jar for one day, but make sure it's got a lid on it tight. It just stops. Yeah, it just helps a lot. So that's another one. But yeah, your tips are great, Laurette. Yeah.
I was guessing, Susie, you would know much more about it than me. Juice, yeah, but I think definitely it would need another blend up. And I don't think it would taste as fresh and as nice as it does today. So maybe in the freezer, and then add it to some homemade orange juice or water to loosen it up a bit.
Beautiful. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just quickly, Diana, have you got something finished product there?
You're on mute.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's okay, my fault. There's one that's nearly done that I'm happy with, but I am 100% blaming my mum on this flour because she's given me this wholemeal flour, and I'm going to say it's old because I have cooked these so many times, and today I'm standing here going, why today? So I'll have one to show you that's kind of cute.
Okay, cool. So in a minute, once that's done, I'm going to actually spotlight all of us and we can take a photo of everything that we've got ready. So Sal, you just wanted to plate up, is that right?
Yes, I'll just quickly plate up. So I'm using the small thermo server,
which I'm going to tag. I just have to.
It does make, I think, at least serves 4. So I'm just going to take out a portion for now.
Now, this is the only thermo server that you can buy through the mix shop. Does anyone know how else you could get a one of the bigger thermo servers? Anyone at all?
I'm popping on the cacao nibs. Again, these are optional, especially if you had a child, you probably wouldn't want to give them the cacao nibs. They're quite, they've got a texture to them. So I'm popping those on. I've also got, you don't have to, but it does say serve with coconut yogurt. This is actually just a Greek yogurt I have made in the Thermomix, and I love to pop them into the little yogurt jars as well. So that could be nicely served alongside that, but I'm just going to scoop some on. And I'll just do a little drizzle of extra honey, and then I'll show you the presentation.
That's right, host to earn, Pauline, that's exactly right. If you would like one of the bigger thermo servers, you can host a cooking experience in your home or virtually, and you can unlock some special prices, or you might even get a free thermo server. But that's beautiful, Sal.
There we go. So it's got the coconut drizzled over, the honey as well. And again, if you were keeping it warm for someone, you could just pop the lid on as well.
Beautiful.
There you go.
Great. Diana and Laurette, have you got something? I know, Laurette, you've got your smoothie there. Court's got her baked beans. I'll just spotlight Court just for a second. We'll do them all individually and then we will take a photo.
So yeah, I've just put in a bowl. That's almost all of them. I didn't want to overfill it. And I've got my chia pudding, which I've put some coconut yogurt and some fresh raspberries and a very small drizzle of maple syrup.
Beautiful. All righty. Diana, do you have one ready to go?
I show you.
Oh, we're doing it on the
Yeah.
on the sandwich press now. Is that also from Kmart?
Look,
Possibly.
possibly. So there they are. That's how they should be.
They look beautiful.
So they're nearly done, but I might just pull them off prematurely.
So we can have a photo.
That photo.
Look, I can show my eggs if you would like while you're doing that.
Are your eggs?
I'll show you my eggs. Oh dear. So here they are here. And you can see they are restaurant quality, perfect. And I will cut into one, or maybe I'll cut into one, then we can take a photo. And see, now Courtney Miles doesn't like eggs, so look away. All right, I don't think there's any other way other than having eggs runny, but I know other people might feel differently, but I'm just going to cut into it here. So just remember 3 minutes, and I have made perfectly poached eggs for the second time this week. All righty, so let's pin everyone and we'll just get we'll get everyone to hold up one of their dishes. But that is everything that we have for you today. If I can work out my computer, I have been doing so well and now I'm going to be special. Okay, here we go. Thank you very much for spending some time with us today. Add spotlight and add spotlight. I hope that you've liked everything that you've seen. We certainly have fun together. The two teams, Team Sapphire and Team Bloom, used to be one team. So it's really nice to get together with some old teammates, I have to say. So now I'm going to have to work out how to do this and press the thing at the same time. Hang on. And what did I say? Control, command. You ready? So I'll get your face in.
Get your eggs in, Lyndall.
Okay. They are sitting on my breasts. Anyway, they've got to be good for something. Thank you everyone for coming today. And thank you everyone for presenting and spending some time with us on your Sunday morning. I hope you've got some inspiration, and Laurette will share some photos from her cinnamon buns, and we will all be very, very jealous. Maybe somebody will have some inspiration and we'll go and cook theirs now. Or if you don't have a Thermomix, please reach out to the consultant that invited you or to the friend that invited you. Today you could actually have a host reward even from the class today. So just by sitting in front of your computer, you could earn some great host rewards from Thermomix. There's lots of offers coming up with the modes demo. Our consultants would love to come out and show you the new demo, and of course get you a Thermomix on your bench. Any questions, please hang around. That's quite okay. We are always looking for new consultants as well, so there is definitely room in Team Bloom and in Team Sapphire. So if that is something that sounds like it might be up your alley, once again, stay on. We're happy to chat with you afterwards, or reach out to the consultant that invited you here. So thank you very much.
Thanks, everyone.